Hi, baby. I'm so glad you decided to join me. But I lied. Put your clothes back on. We're talking about the Sig P320. The Sig P320, more versatile than a goth girl with a strap on. One of my favorite pistols, and definitely better than a Glock. Early models of them had a tendency to go off by themselves. There's little footage about them going off in holsters and things like that. But they fixed all of that. You can trust them now. You can trust Sig. They fixed all of the issues. They never go off on their own anymore. Well, as far as I know, I've never seen one go off on its own. Mine's never gone off on its own. And I've seen lots of drop tests on various channels, and most of them, they don't go off anymore. So we're going to assume that they're safe now. Hopefully they're safe now. You can trust Sig. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. So here's the great thing about the Sigs. Other than the fact they're very well built. Now there's so many of them. They've made so damn many of these things. They're worse than iPhones. Like every year they come out with 3 different models of the Sig 320 that's like all the same, you know. But they do have some that have like the manual safety. Like this one has the manual safety because I built it out of an M17, which is the military model. But here's what I can tell you. I mean, why would you listen to Bryn? Why would you listen to some internet thought about the Sig 320? Don't you just make gun videos with your butt? Well, I'm actually a pretty good shooter, and I've got about 20,000 rounds through this particular Sig, so I've got a pretty good understanding of them. They have a very high bore axis, and this is what a lot of people complain about, and they're always like, well, Glocks are better because they have a little bore axis. Glocks are just as flippy as these. They're pretty comparable to Glocks, but maybe a little bit more so because they do have a really high bore axis. The barrel is much higher. You can compensate them, and that does help quite a bit. This one was compensated. I took the compensator off because I was putting a suppressor on it, but compensators do pretty well on these. And they can be tuned really well with compensators, which brings me to the next thing, is parts availability and customization. You cannot beat the customization of a Sig 320. So this is mine. This is and it's got the Bauer. One of the best parts about Sigs, let me break this down real quick, is that the serial part of the Sig is this little guy. That's it. That's the serial part of the Sig. And you can buy just these, and you know, as the whole gun. This is the gun. This is what the ATF says is a gun, according to them. So the cool thing is you can buy just these, and you can build your own. There's so many aftermarket parts. This is the Bauer 1811 hand grip. There's a ton of aftermarket parts available for these things. Triggers, slides, you name it. You can have a totally different gun than what you bought. Now the stock 320s are still pretty good. I've got a couple of them, stock ones. I have an ASG Pro. There's like a billion different like little named ones. There's a ton of different little models of them. They like to come out with new ones all the time. So there's one for you and one inside of your budget, because I bought the M17 complete. I think I spent like $500, $600 on it, and I've rebuilt it into other things. Many parts there are for Glocks, there are for Sigs, and I've never had a single failure. I've never had a single failure out of any of my Sigs. I've had failures on my Glocks before, especially ones that I've worked on, and that's on me because they're not stock. I've never had a stock Glock fail, but I've never had a Sig fail that I've worked on. And I'm not a gunsmith, regardless of how terrible I am at gunsmithing, at home gunsmithing crap, because I am really bad. I have broken several guns. Regardless of how terrible I am, they always still run. Like their Sigs, putting them together is pretty easy. You know, and they have really nice triggers you can get. You can change the triggers in them. And overall, they're really good. Like, but here's another thing, and this is something that I found out, is you can get different calibers, right? So I took a 9mm. Now there's ones that are different, built for different sizes, right? There's one for like the 45, the 10mm, 9mm, but a lot of them are interchangeable. Even though they don't advertise it as interchangeable, you just have to change a couple of parts in the trigger pack itself, and you can make it fit. Like, this is a 9mm trigger. I bought this 10mm grip mod and 10mm slide off of eBay, and I took my 9mm and I replaced the trigger bar with the 45 10mm trigger bar. It fits right in there, and I made a 10mm Sig 320 from a 9mm. So, and this was my favorite because I love 10mm because it puts big old holes in things, and big old holes are better than tiny holes. I think. It depends on your perspective and what we're talking about. So yeah, SIGs are pretty great. Are they the best pistol out there? No, probably not. Will you accidentally shoot yourself with one? Maybe, but probably not. Are they better than Glocks? Absolutely, they are better than Glocks. They are better than Glocks. I don't know what you know, as far as like availability, parts, and all that stuff. I don't know. I mean, it comes down to the individual and what you prefer, and you really know which one you like better. But me personally, I like the SIGs better. But what do I know? I'm just an airhead on the internet who is a little autistic, so maybe they're not better than Glocks. Who knows? But in my hands, I'm way better with SIGs than Glocks. So take that as a grain of salt. I can strongly recommend them. I would strongly recommend till the day I die a Sig 320 over most other affordable, normal range handgun models. If you ever get sick of your SIG, you can just take the trigger pack out and make an entirely new gun out of it. You want a smaller one? You want a bigger one? You want one more accuracy? One with less accuracy? You want a different caliber? No problem. Just take the trigger pack out, put it in something else. Build up an entire different gun. It's like build a bear, but build a SIG. Anyways. I mean, that's about it. I don't really have a lot more to say about it. SIGs are awesome. If you don't think so, that's okay. I still love you. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.